Walking into an Apple store is different from walking into other shops. You're hit by a clean, uncluttered, minimalist design that's the same around the world. You're struck by the incredible location or structure that you're stepping into. That feeling of an ordeal to find what you want is replaced by calm. Since 2001, Apple stores have transformed retail unlike any other brand. Their runaway success has inspired copycats, seen the firm team up with world-renowned architects, and created new landmarks in our cities. So, what's Apple's secret? How does it build its stores? How are they thriving when the rest of the retail world is in freefall? And is the firm's appearance in some of our most iconic city locations a great way to preserve heritage, or a step too far? Every Apple store is made with the same ingredients. They're minimalist. They emphasise natural materials like wood and stone, and they're easy to move through because they're clean and open. Apple extends the design language of its products into the built environment. The logo glows on storefronts like the back of a MacBook. The aluminium of an iMac becomes wallpaper. The stores, like Apple's products, represent elegant simplicity for customers. Apple stores have never really been designed to directly sell, but to educate. Products are displayed more like exhibits in a museum than clothes in a department store. They focus on the customer's experience rather than their own objectives.
The store is divided into 4 parts. The first quarter of the store has our home section.
When the first Apple store opened back in 2001, this approach set it apart from every other retailer. Despite the industry's early skepticism, Apple stores were generating $1 billion in annual sales in just 3 years.
All on airports, so you can just pick these up and see what it's really like to have wireless connection to the internet.
Other brands began copying Apple's style, and soon there were Tesla stores and Samsung stores. Even McDonald's began borrowing from the company's methodology. Encouraged by runaway success, Apple doubled down, bringing on Angela Arendts from Burberry in 2014 and forging a relationship with renowned architects, Foster & Partners. From there, the firm began to test and apply its town square principle, connecting famous landmarks and locations to its brand. Apple's stores began appearing in the most prominent spots of our major cities: the Champs-Élysées in Paris, Covent Garden in London, Piazza Liberty in Milan, and even New York's Grand Central Station. Armed with formidable cash resources, Apple has inserted itself into the core of many public spaces, becoming a focal point for activity. The town square stores, though made with the same ingredients as the other outlets, employ a design philosophy of their own. Larger sites are able to create plazas for music and events. So-called forums become spaces for creativity. Avenues guide customers, while trees help evolve the Genius Bar into the Genius Grove. One of Apple's most famous sites is also a really clear example of this strategy. Rebuilt in 2019, Apple's glass cube on Fifth Avenue, arguably a New York landmark in its own right, now sits at the heart of a redesigned public square with light wells to the store beneath. Apple's forums, avenues, and Genius Groves await customers in what's intended as an oasis in the heart of Manhattan. In 2020, the firm took things to a whole different level, with a spherical island store on Singapore's famous Marina Bay. Surrounded by water and reached by most customers through a 45-metre tunnel, the self-supporting glass and steel dome again houses all of Apple's core ingredients, against 360-degree views of the Singapore skyline, while shading fins cleverly shield the space from intense sun. Despite its store's elegance, established style and notability, Apple's approach to retail has not been entirely without controversy. Some fear the firm's encroachment into the core of our historic public spaces, and question whether the world's most valuable private company should be occupying the physical heart of some communities. Despite the firm's care in restoration, and while some argue that their involvement has in fact saved some heritage buildings, Apple's moves into certain locations has drawn criticism. There was a minor backlash when the company opened a store in New York's Grand Central Station, and then again when it announced a new location inside Washington DC's Carnegie Library. Though Grand Central Station does have commercial space, Carnegie Library was meant to be just for the public. Apple's press release said that its renovation had now returned the library to the community as a centre for learning, discovery and creativity. The firm's plans for a landmark store in Melbourne's Federation Square were ultimately abandoned due to public opposition. Despite the arguably inevitable debates that go with repurposing famous sites, the way Apple builds its stores has redefined how we think about retail architecture. Notwithstanding the pandemic, while countless retailers have gone out of business or moved online over the past decade, Apple's stores have only grown in popularity, succeeding by understanding the potential of good design and recognizing how powerful a tool the built environment can be. If you enjoyed this video and would like to get more from the definitive video channel for construction, subscribe to the B1 Angel.